Gamification. Hi, it's Craig here, and I want to show you how you can gamify a course in a fun little way by hiding little cookies, or little eggs as I call them, inside of your course, and ultimately they'll produce a leaderboard like this that is automatically updated. So it's based on the power of Google Sheets and Google Forms and a few little clever tricks that we've got to throw in. So let me show you how it's done. Now, the very first step is to find out where you're going to place it. I've got this course on Moodle, and it doesn't really matter where it is. And I'm going to be inserting these little eggs hidden. So this one is actually going to be hidden inside a question. I could put it inside the question if I like. I could put it inside the answers to the question or the feedback to the question. I sometimes choose all different sorts of things. So maybe we will just sneak this little egg. It's going to be over here. So you can use any little symbol. I am using this little egg symbol, which is going to be placed over here. So if they are alert, they will notice that egg symbol. But what we need to do before we get to that, we need to create a form. So I've got lots of different forms that I've already created. I'm just going to create a replica of one of these forms quickly to start making my form that they will use to capture their claiming of the prize or claiming of the badge. So give the form a name is the first step. Right, so there's my form, and I've got a few of these. Sometimes I repeat my forms or my badges, whatever they're called, so I sometimes have quite a few of them. This one, I've got quite a few for the quizzes. So as you'll see, here's one. I'm making another one for a quiz. That's Quizzy 3, so this one's going to be Quizzy 4. So Act Badge 21. Quizzy 4 is the number they're going to get here. Right, it's always good to finish things. Well, it's a little description that you can put in here. So just tell them some little brief instruction as to what they can do. Grab your badge. Right, that's the next thing is we want to put a title for the badge, and you need to, rather a little icon for the badge. I've got a whole lot there. I've created one for my quiz. That's what it's over there. So all I'm going to do is replace and this one that I've already got with Quizzy 4. So grab my little image that I have and drop it in. So you just need to create a little badge. So that's quite simple, and that is dropped in. Now what's important is what we're trying to do is pull all the student names in. So what I have here is my student names have been copied in from my database, which is fine, and I've created over here a sort of concatenated thing that is a combination of their student number and their names. Then what I've done over here in this tab, I have taken all of that and I've created a sort using the sort function here. And what this does is it automatically sorts all the names into order. Now you'll see why that's important, because I want it to be easy for them to sort. You can choose to sort in whatever order you like, but I've chosen to sort it on student number order, and then next to it is their name, just to make sure they choose the right student number. Now we would like all of those to appear here. Now you'll see they're already here because this is, I've copied the old list. I'm going to delete these because we want to use a plugin to auto-populate this. So what we now do is under add-ons, there's a plugin called Form Ranger, which can be selected from the App Store. And the Form Ranger plugin allows you to dynamically link a list that is contained somewhere else, like in the spreadsheet, to the form. So what it's now doing is just checking to say, well, which of the fields look like they're one that I could use. A drop down is a type of field that it recognizes that it could be populated automatically from the form. So I'm just going to choose that. Now what I want to know is which spreadsheet. So we select the spreadsheet that we want to go and select the student numbers and names and details from. Okay, by default, it's already selected the first form in that spreadsheet. I've got lots of forms in the spreadsheet, and that's why I moved this to the first one. It just makes it easier. And which column? I want that column there. So that's perfect. Say next, give it a name. Name. That's a good name for a column. And it's now automatically brought in all of those names here. Now, if those names change, if they are added to, so if at any stage more names are imported into the spreadsheet, what I do is turn these two on. Every time the form is submitted, it'll check to see whether it needs to update this list. And in fact, every hour it is going to update the list. So that list will automatically get updated if at any stage new names are imported into here, which would then obviously appear here in sorted order. Right, now what we need to do is we need to send the responses to this form to the right place. So I don't want it to create a new spreadsheet. I want the responses to the form to go to that same spreadsheet. Everything to do with my gamification is going to be kept in that one spreadsheet. So I'm going to select that same spreadsheet, and it's now going to create a link to that spreadsheet. So as you can see over here, here is the responses. They're going to be popped in here. I'm just going to give them a name. So all my forms I've been giving form 2019, etc. So this one is number 21. So I'm going to call that one number 21. The responses will come here. Now, what we need is when a response appears here, we want to bring it together and we want to count. So here I've got all my students. It's picked up their names from my sorted list, and I want a badge count. So for each column here, what it's going to do is it is going to try and see if that student name appears in that related form. So we're going to call this badge 21. And this is another quizzy one. It's quizzy 4. So I've put them into 4 different quizzes so far. And I've got a formula here, which I'm going to copy across. This formula basically does a VLOOKUP. Don't worry about a few other things. I just don't want it to show an error if it doesn't find it. So it basically is doing a VLOOKUP. And the only thing I need to change is I've got to make sure it's got the right number, because this is going to pick it up from form number 21. So you'll see at the moment that is a no, and then I will copy that all the way down so that all my students, well, as many students as I have, ultimately will be checked. So if that turns to a yes, then what it will do is it will count how many yeses are here. So we've created the form, and the form beautifully is updating into here. Once there is something here, that will appear in the badge list. Right. So what is next? Next, we now need to grab the link to this form. This is what the students are going to use. And this is where they're going to appear when they when they click on the little hidden Easter egg. Right, so we go back to our course. That's where I've placed it. I want to stick it there. I'm going to create a hyperlink. I opened it in a new tab, and we are going to create the link and save the change. Right, so there we can see it is appearing in the question. So when the students come to this particular question, if they are careful, they can obviously answer the question and do that. That's fine, but they can also click on that. So you can hide it absolutely anywhere. Once they click on it, it brings this up. Well done, you're doing well with these quizzes and finding all the badges. Grab your badge. So there's their badge. If they want to grab it, they choose their name from the list, which it's picking up from the spreadsheet, and hit submit. Fantastic. Now, I provided a link in the feedback that they can go and check on the leaderboard, and the leaderboard will show who is doing how well. I'll show you how the leaderboard works in a second, but essentially what has now happened is if we look here, we will see right there for badge 21 it is listed. If I go to the badge list, right there it is listed in that list. They've got that one as well. What then basically happens is I create a sort of all of those. So this is a sort of the badge list. I just want the first 2 columns, which has got their name and the badge count. And then I created another one, because sometimes it's not so nice to show if you come in position 400, it's up to you. But I created another one. This one is basically just a copy of the first 10. And I've just changed how it looks. And this is then published by using a file, and then you can go publish to the web. And I can create a link. You can get the link here. When you hit publish, it publishes to the web. And so every time this is changed, it will appear over here. So that they can very easily see how they are doing when they submit something. I could just send them that link, or you can put that link where you like, and they can check how they're doing on the leaderboard. So that is basically the process. So essentially what has happened is I've got all of these just little forms, lots of them. Each of these is for my different badges, and the badges are all grouped together in this badge list, and the overall count is over here, which then reflects in the leaderboard. So those are the elements of gamifying. It's basically finding a place where you want to insert it. Use whatever little symbol. I like to create some fake ones. They run after fake ones. Sometimes they click on it, it doesn't open it, etc. They can't always see what they really are clever. They might notice at the very bottom of the screen there's where it's bringing them, but you can even fool them with that if you like. But basically, clicking that opens the form. From the form, they will select their name. That will update the sheet over here. It will then update the badge list, which will update the leaderboard. And there we've got it. We have created a fun little way of gamifying by hiding these little eggs all over the course. The whole idea is not only about the leaderboard, but it's about encouraging the students to read carefully and make sure they're going through all the content. So that is a fun way of gamifying using a Google Sheets.